The Empire Strikes Back. Survival on Hoth. It was a dark time for the rebellion. Although the Death Star had been destroyed, the Empire's troops had driven the rebel forces from their hidden base and pursued them across the galaxy. Evading the Imperial Starfleet, a group of freedom fighters led by Luke Skywalker established a new secret base on the remote ice world of Hoth. But Darth Vader had dispatched thousands of remote probes into the far reaches of space, searching for young Skywalker and his allies. On the frozen surface of Hoth, a blast from the sky shattered the silence, and an Imperial probe rose from the icy ground. Nearby, Luke Skywalker was riding a tauntaun, one of the few animals tough enough to survive the intense cold of Hoth, when he heard the loud noise. He searched the landscape for signs of whatever had caused the explosion, but he couldn't see anything. Luke thought it must have been a meteorite falling from space. Using his communicator, Luke checked in with his friend Han Solo. "Han, do you read me? There's a meteorite that hit the ground near here. I want to check it out." As Luke turned off his communicator, his tauntaun began bucking and moaning in a panic. Then a huge furry beast leaped up out of nowhere, knocking both Luke and the tauntaun down and dragging them away. Before Luke blacked out, he recognized the beast. A wampa. Meanwhile, at the rebel base, Han and his friend Chewbacca were preparing their ship, the Millennium Falcon, for a long journey. "If I don't pay off what I owe Jabba the Hutt, I'm a dead man," Han told Leia. The couple were deep in conversation when R2-D2 and C-3PO interrupted them. The droids were concerned that Luke had yet to return from his search. "Nobody knows where he is. I think Master Luke is in considerable danger," said C-3PO. C-3PO had no idea how right he was about Luke, who woke up to find himself hanging upside down in the wampa's lair. The beast was messily eating what was left of Luke's tauntaun. When it was finished, the wampa would probably come after Luke for dessert. Luke needed to get free and escape the wampa's clutches, but he would need his lightsaber, which was on the ground beneath him, just out of arm's reach. When he struggled to grab the weapon with his hands, Luke remembered what Obi-Wan Kenobi had taught him as part of his Jedi Knight training. Closing his eyes, Luke concentrated on using the Force, the energy that binds the universe together, and the lightsaber began to shake. Having finished feasting on the tauntaun, the wampa grunted hungrily and rose to its feet, heading straight for Luke. Before the wampa could get to him, the lightsaber flew into Luke's hand. With a swift motion, Luke cut his bonds and leaped to his feet. As the wampa roared at Luke, the young Jedi slashed at the creature with his lightsaber, cutting off one of its paws. Luke ran from the cave and stumbled into the snow outside. But it was getting dark, and the brutal cold made it hard for Luke to stay awake. In a matter of moments, Luke fell to the icy ground. Struggling to his feet, he stumbled forward, but he could only go a few steps before falling again. Barely conscious, Luke heard a familiar voice calling his name. "Luke," a calm voice said, echoing in his mind. He recognized the voice. "Ben?" he gasped. It was his teacher, Obi-Wan Kenobi. Obi-Wan's ghostly image appeared before him. "You will go to the Dagobah system. There you will learn from Yoda, the Jedi Master who instructed me." Meanwhile, Han Solo was worried because Luke had been gone for so long. It was getting late, and there was little hope that anyone could survive the cold night. Risking his own safety, Han took his tauntaun and rode out to search for Luke. Hours later, R2-D2's scanners couldn't find Han or Luke. Leia wanted to keep the outer doors open for her missing friends, but she knew she couldn't. A terrible storm was coming, and she had to protect the base. "Don't worry about Master Luke," said C-3PO. "I'm sure he'll be all right. He's quite clever, you know, for a human being." Chewbacca moaned with sorrow as the base's doors slammed shut. There would be no way to help Han or Luke until the morning, and they might not be able to last that long. It was almost too dark to see by the time Han and his tauntaun found Luke. Han quickly dismounted and ran to his friend's side. "Luke!" Han was overjoyed to find his friend, but there was a problem. Han's tauntaun had been pushed past its limits. It gave a last, desperate bray before falling down, dead. Now they had no way to get back to base, and the cold would be too much for Luke in his weakened condition. Han took Luke's lightsaber and used it to slice open the tauntaun. Then he wrapped its hide around Luke's body. "This may smell bad, kid," explained Han, "but it'll keep you warm until I get the shelter up." By the next morning, the storm had passed. Leia immediately sent out scout ships to bring Han and Luke home. Han waved to a scout ship as it passed above him. "Good morning! Nice of you guys to drop by." Luke awoke to find himself in the rebel base's infirmary, surrounded by his friends. He had made it through the night because of Han's bravery, but there wasn't any time to rest. Luke now had a new mission. He was going to find the Jedi Master Yoda and learn more about the power of the Force. As a true Jedi Knight, Luke would join his friends in battle against Darth Vader and defeat the Empire, restoring hope to the galaxy once and for all.